and welcome to Rotted Review of the Day, and Merry Christmas Eve to everybody out there as we continue on with this last leg of the Advent calendar of Christmas horror movies. Today, I am tackling the first of a double feature of reviews, and it is the 2018 movie Mother Krampus 2 Sleigh Ride. This originally went by the name of Naughty List and has absolutely nothing at all to do with the original Mother Krampus movie. And basically, it started out as just kind of a micro-budget production. I think they said the budget was less than $2,000 in total. And basically got picked up, and they decided to change the name to Hop on the Krampus Craze, and decided to make it a sequel of an original movie that had nothing to do with Mother Krampus either. Basically, this is bottom-of-the-barrel stuff, and I have to admit that as much as I've been enjoying this Christmas Advent calendar horror movie review thing, I am kind of looking forward to being past it, just because, although I typically do review movies that are off the beaten path, let's just say, I do tend to be a little bit more selective, and this one is probably not one that would have made my list, except I've been floundering for that last scrap of material to round out 50 movies, in this case 50 plus movies, since I'm sprinting towards the finish line of having 300 movie reviews. So, but regardless, I did watch this one, and what I thought of it was that it was about as bad as you'd expect. Really, there's not a whole lot of surprises in this one. I think the biggest surprise for me, honestly, was I was really expecting that, well, as I was watching through the beginning of it, I was trying to be really, really generous. I was in the Christmas spirit. Let's try to find something positive this year. And so I was watching it with perhaps a little bit rose-colored glasses, but I was actually finding some nuggets in this one. I was like, well, you know what? That's amateurish, but I could see what they were going for, and it kind of worked. Maybe that was a little generous of me, but I think then it got to the part, there was this particular scene where there was some singing involved, and it lost me. I was no longer willing to have the generous spirit anymore, and I was pretty well just kind of waiting for the end credits to roll throughout the rest of the movie. This movie follows four characters that are on their last night of parole, and in that they are doing community service for a food kitchen, or kind of soup kitchen deal, as well as providing meals to folks around the neighborhood that might need meals delivered to them. One of which they are tasked with providing the meal and spending half an hour at their place providing company or household help or whatever might be needed, and in doing so, they get more than they bargained for. It really doesn't have a whole lot more depth to it than that. The characters are all very one-dimensional. They try to give them a little bit of backstory and depth, but they ultimately just kind of fail. There's really nothing that interesting about this one. But I will say that for a micro budget of $2,000, I know that I've said this in the past, and if you watch a lot of my reviews, you're probably sick of me hearing it, but I don't consider a lack of budget to be an excuse for having no practical effects. If you want to have something that is off camera, like a kill, or off camera, something that, builds tension, more power to you, as long as it works. That's a tried and true method. But to simply cut away from a kill because you don't have the budget to support having some Karo syrup and food coloring, it doesn't fly with me. I always say that through lack of resources, creativity is born. And I will say that some of the practical effects in this movie, I'm not going to say that they're good, but they are present. And I was kind of not really expecting to have much of anything here. So the fact that I got a little something in the way of some special effects or some gore and so on, I was kind of pleased with it. My bar was set pretty low. Just a little skip and you're over my bar. So, this one did actually manage to have a little skips, and more power to it for that, but I cannot say that it's a good movie. I'm going to go and throw up all the scores here. As always, 4 different categories, each one worth up to 25 points for a total possible score of 100 points. And overall, I found this movie to be vapid, lackluster, and boring. It wasn't so bad that it's good. It was honestly just kind of boring throughout. The characters were, like I said, one-dimensional. Really nothing special about anything that really kept any interest on the screen. I was pretty much at the point where they were singing, checked out. And just, like I said, just waiting for the end credits to roll. And about, I think, the 3/4 mark, it started to become a little bit painful, if I'm going to be honest. That was a situation where it was just like, please end. I don't review movies until I see them through the end credits, so please God, let this one end. And after watching it, my resolve over the course of this advent calendar of Christmas horror movies has been tested. And this movie was a big test of that. Elves was a bigger test. But I'm going to be perfectly honest. I am maintaining my holiday spirit and my goodwill and cheer and so forth, but it is taking some purposeful, active effort because I'm getting worn down. I have, after this movie, 4 more movies to review to make 300. And God help me. I hope that it picks up a little bit from here because, man, I'm just looking down that line at the next 4, and I'm just really hoping there's some good ones because, man, I need it. That's going to be the shot of brandy in my eggnog. I need that to move forward. But regardless, all told, a total of 15 points out of 100. I cannot recommend this movie. Big surprise. It's just not worth it. It, like I said, it's not so bad it's good. It's not entertaining. It's not anything of any redemptive quality that I would say you go out and watch it. In fact, I would say don't waste your money. And if it's free, don't waste your time. So that's my review of Mother Krampus 2 Sleigh Ride. I really thank you for joining me here today. I look forward to seeing you soon today as I do the next movie of the double feature of reviews. If you like this video, please click like and subscribe. And if you want to support me further, my Patreon and my merchandise storefront links are below. Remember, next time you want to watch a horror movie, first make sure that it's good and rotted.